And I'm joined now by Barbara Lee Van Horsen with the Momentum Center, locations in Grand Haven and Holland. Barbara, thanks so much for being with us here on Evening Plus. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for the invitation. I'm delighted.
Absolutely. And so you guys, a West Michigan organization, but you do a lot in sort of the sphere of mental health. And I wanted to, have you in to kind of talk about all the different sort of things that you do to, help the community and also volunteer opportunities for people if they're interested. So I know we could probably talk forever, but give me sort of an overview of, you being the executive director, what the center is all about.
So the summary in a nutshell is that we are creating a community where every person is fully visible and connected. And we do that in a couple of ways. We offer social and recreational programs for people with mental illness, addictions, and disabilities. And we address the social determinants of mental health through community conversations and cultural immersion experiences.
Yeah, so it's a very wide and broad scenario that you guys are just working to make the community and the people in the community happier, safer, healthier in many different ways. Talk to me about a couple of the avenues in which you sort of work toward that goal with the work that you guys do.
So if we start with the social recreational program, that's probably what we're most known for. We're the big blue building where we are providing really the elements of a behavioral health script.
Gotcha.
So if you're in therapy, your therapist is likely to tell you to get some exercise, eat healthy, spend time in positive community, and see me again. There's a lot of time you're not in therapy, and a lot of people don't know where to even begin getting those kind of connections. It
can be daunting for sure. Yeah.
So that's what we offer, and we do that for $1 a year membership because it's important for people to feel a sense of belonging.
Yeah.
But we make sure that there's not a barrier to entry. So there are scholarships if necessary.
Yeah,
and for that $1, you can participate in all of the activities, all of the classes, all of the outings that we provide, and really form relationships and friendships with other people.
Yeah, to really take that priority of your mental health further than just, maybe what you are doing in therapy, but really immersing your entire life in trying to improve, what life looks like for you. And I know that you guys, you also have a cafe that you operate as well. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
So the VU Cafe is part of our program because it's about social integration.
Yeah.
We never want to be the building over there for those people. We recognize that all of us are dealing with something at some point.
Absolutely.
And so all of us need to work together to build community. The VU Cafe provides that opportunity for the public to come in, have a $1 cup of coffee and a $1 donut, and address the stereotypes and lower the stigma. We've found that about 30% of our members came through the cafe. It's a soft entry to mental health services.
I like that a lot. Yeah, unfortunately, we do see that stigma of mental health. I need help in some way or another, and that can be scary and daunting. But kind of, as you mentioned, soft opening into getting that help that can be so transformational for people.
Yeah, it's really an opportunity to check us out, make sure we're who we say we are, that you're comfortable before raising your hand to say, I'd like to join.
Absolutely. And some of the activities that you guys do, I know one thing that I saw that originally prompted me to reach out was that a couple times a month you guys are offering help for if you lost someone to an addiction-related situation. That is an unimaginable scenario to be in. What does that sort of twice monthly activity look like?
So that's one of the activities that's led by a volunteer. We are dependent on volunteers and are always asking for more volunteers, but it's really a support group. And that loss due to addiction can be because of an accidental overdose. It can be because of an intentional suicidal act. Could be just because of other health complications. But having that commonality is so important. When you feel like you're the only one, it's critical to know that your experience is not completely unique.
Yeah, you're not ostracized. There's other people dealing with that really difficult time.
Correct. And you don't need to be a member to participate in our support groups. We also have a family support group for people who have a loved one who's battling mental illness. Those of us who have that situation need a place where we can talk about how difficult that is without placing that burden on our loved one. We have Smart Recovery, which is a non-faith-based recovery program for people who are looking for an alternative to AA, for instance.
Sure. Yeah, lots of different scenarios. Just telling people ultimately that they're not alone. There's other people dealing with what they may be dealing with, and there's support in many ways here in our community, which is so great. As far as if you want to be a volunteer in any of these avenues, how does that process work?
So there's a volunteer application that you complete. Let us know what you're interested in doing. We do a background check with
Yeah.
our volunteers to make sure that we're creating a safe community. That doesn't mean that nobody with any background can't volunteer.
Sure.
Part of our mission is to give people second chances
Yeah.
and to recognize that we all need community. But where we place people makes a difference, matters. So we do that. We have a couple of trainings. All of our volunteers and staff have to understand recipient rights. They have to understand cultural competency.
Sure.
And they have to be skilled in basic CPR and first aid. So you go through those trainings. We do management by strengths, which is a personality profile that helps us know how people want to be treated. And that helps us create an empathy first
Yeah.
environment with our staff, our volunteers, and then that trickles down to our members as well.
And I know in some of the video we were showing, you guys have folks who are members and volunteers. You can kind of be on both sides, the giving and the receiving end of the beautiful work that you guys do.
Absolutely. And a lot of times that's what happens when people come. They'll often come as a volunteer and then join.
Yeah.
There's, again, breaking down that stigma and making it safe for people to say, I'm struggling too.
I need some help. Yeah, definitely. And you mentioned you guys have this prom event coming up next month. Tell me all about that. It's not exact, it's kind of like your typical prom, but with a bit of a switch to it just to include a lot more people.
It is. It's a grown-up prom,
Yeah.
and it's a big part of our programming because it is social integration. All of our members, we make sure, get tickets to be able to go. It is our biggest fundraiser of the year, but our tickets are $40. We really try to keep it accessible
Yeah.
to people. And for that $40, you get a night of dinner and dancing at the Trillium, pasta buffet. It's just a wonderfully fun night. There's there's several raffles. Our members start talking about it months before, and they keep talking about it months after. And it is a place where we bring people in a room that just don't normally spend time together. Along the whole economic spectrum, people who could never have dreamed of saving up enough money to buy a ticket, with people who are there with generous hearts and spirits to support us financially. It's just a magical night. And that's coming up May 17th. From 5 to 9.
And I know you mentioned, okay, an adult prom, who might be going to that, but maybe your prom, in high school wasn't a great experience. Maybe you never got to go. This is really open to whomever, who wants to kind of make a new experience or a new memory in that way, kind of surrounding that, pivotal prom moment.
It is. We say that all the time. It's a chance for a prom do-over, to go to the prom you never attended.
Sure.
Or to relive your prom.
Yeah,
All
maybe
of
it was
us
a
can
bad
do one of
experience
those.
and you want a new memory. Prom is a crazy time in high school, so have that new memory made. We love that. If people are hearing about all the things that you do, whether they're looking to volunteer or looking to get some help in some way, what's the best way to reach out and touch base with you guys?
The best way is either to go through our website, which is momentumcentergh.org, or the phone number is 616-414-9111. And we also want to talk to people about the community conversations.
Yeah.
We have town halls on mental health. We have one coming up on mental health and housing on May 1st. And also our cultural immersion experiences, the way that we develop the skills to see the lens through which we see the world, because then everything changes.
I love that. And as you mentioned too, if you kind of want to dip your toe in the water, and aren't sure if you want to commit, the cafe may be a good option as well as a way to kind of just learn a little bit more what you guys are all about.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Barbara, anything I'm missing here that you want folks at home to know?
I think I squeezed it all in.
You did a great job.
I'll close my part with our tagline, which is, if we all work together, we will keep gaining momentum.
I love that. I love that, Barbara. Thanks so much for sitting down with me and talking about this and introducing you guys to anyone who may not have heard from you guys just yet. Awesome. Barbara,
Thank
thanks.
you so
We're going to take
much.
just a quick break.